Hey everybody, it's Holly Burns of Holly Burns Psychic. I have an update for you guys. Remember early January when I said that there was going to be a whistleblower that was going to be coming forth and he had worked for the military and they called him a whistleblower and said he was going to come out and say that he was actively working with ETs and it was going to happen before January 21st. Well, it did. His name is Jake Barber, and he was on News Nation. I believe the January 16th episode, or somewhere around January 16th of that weekend before the inauguration. And he did say exactly what he said he was going to say. And he had also had video of him rising up a ship into the talons of the helicopter so that it could be moved to a new location. It was being retrieved, and it was a crashed UFO, UAP, and it was smooth, and it was shaped like a tic tac, basically. I think if I recall correctly, and no seams and no bolts on the metal, just very smooth the whole way around. Definitely not technologically something that you'd normally see out there in the world. So you can go watch that. It's on News Nation, and I can put a link I think I can put a link to it in the show notes. So you can just click right over to that if you want to. So really interesting information coming out. Now, of course, no one really said anything. Did the national news report on it? I don't think so. Is anybody saying anything? I don't think so. Like, what, people? What's it going to take for the media to actually recognize this is going on? But, the media is not the end all be all to your source of information. So, if you want to get more information on this, just watch Cosmic Disclosure on Gaia.com and you'll get all the information you need. All right. Well, so there's the update on that part. Now, I'd also did a video on my vision that I had gotten in 2007, which through the years, I felt like it was pinpointing 2025. And now it's 2025, so I want you guys to know about it ahead of time. So if it happens, I won't just be there going, hey, I had a vision in 2007. And you'll be like, yeah, right, sure you did, right? So you can watch my video on that on the video, get the details on the vision. Now, I've been getting lots of correlations with the same year of 2025, and it had to do, my vision I had to do with a world event. Like, I knew it was a big world event. Something was going on that was big in the world, and I always felt that had to do with aliens. I felt like if I would have looked up in the sky, I would have seen the sky was littered with ships right over here, but I didn't look up in the sky when I was having the vision. So I always felt it had to do with alien disclosure of some sort, or aliens coming to the planet, or something happened on the planet and the aliens came, or I don't know, just something big, worldly, had to do with aliens. 2025. Here, I'm being led to all this information that other people are saying the same thing about the same year. So let's go through some of those things I collected. Just going to give you a quick overview of some of the things that I have been finding that correlate with the same timeline from other sources all over the world and in all over timelines. The first one is actually the Great Pyramid of Egypt. I got all this stuff from David Wilcock, and his show I want to backtrack out of order. Okay, I'll backtrack out of order. So David Wilcock actually was channeling Archangel Michael in the late 1990s. I believe it was maybe 1999 when he started, and maybe 1998, somewhere in there. And he was told in his channelings from Archangel Michael that he would record. He would like go into trance channel and he would record what he was getting from Archangel Michael and then listen to the recordings back when he was done, I believe is his methodology that he was using. And he said that Archangel Michael said that 2025 was the year that full disclosure of aliens would happen. And I think Archangel Michael I think he also said the second coming of Jesus 2025 as well. I have to go review that, but I believe that that Archangel Michael was also discussing the second coming of Jesus as well in those same visions in the same timeline window, which many people are. So the Great Pyramid, come to find out, there was a man named Louis Lezier E something. I forget, and I forgot to write it down in regular letters. I put it down phonetically, and I can't remember what it said now. It was a foreign sounding last name, Lurency Italian or something. Peter is his name. And he wrote a book about the Great Pyramid and how there's a timeline in the tunnels of the Great Pyramid that marks a timeline of like humanity from 2141 BC or so, or 2151 BC, all the way up till modern times. There is markers in these hallways that mark, if you go with what he figured out. I don't know if he figured it out, but somebody figured out that every inch in this timeline equals a year. And 500 million of those inches is what the distance is between the North and the South Pole on the globe. And these inches are slightly smaller than American inches. They are an English or a European inch. And 500 million of those fits exactly from North Pole to South Pole on the planet. So during this timeline, all the important dates, not all the, but many important dates have been marked with like I don't know if they're marked with a scribed line on there or like certain, anyway, it's every inch. So they can measure, I guess they can tell the year, but there's markers. It's not just inches, it's markers in there at the certain years, right? And in the hallway, there's a hallway to the king chamber, to the queen's chamber, and then something else, right? In the Great Pyramid. Well, in the hallway where the ascension or the birth of Christ is marked, it's actually at the highest point as well, of 286.1 inches tall. It is the tallest point in the entire inner chambers, hallways. I think just the hallways. I'm not sure if I think it's just the hallways. It's the highest point where the timeline is anyway. The highest point of the whole timeline is at the marker of 286.1 inches tall, and that is marking Jesus's birth. So that's pretty interesting, is it not? Pretty interesting. Also, I just want to let you know that when I heard that, the 286.1 inches tall. Did I say that right before? It's 286.1. I'd be looking at 2028 if I were you guys. Just a little hint on that, because I know what the 6 and the 1 means as well, but the 28 stands for 2028 in my language with my guides. It's being blasted at me. And 6 is something real interesting as well. 6 has to do with love, has to do with divine feminism. Women were created on the 6th day. So there's a lot of things. It's also the number 16 backwards. And 16 is the initial number that my spirit guides gave to me to mark the start of my journey in 2007, which was told to me on 667, which is a play on 666, because they meant to joke about that, because people think 666 meant Satan, but it actually means love, and it was misconstrued many hundreds of years ago, so people would not understand it correctly, and it means destiny. 7 means destiny. So they told me the number 16 on that date, and it kind of meant ready, set, go. Let's go. Let's start. We're going off and running out the starting gate. And so the 6-1 on there is really important to me as well. It's the reverse of 16. I'm also born on the 6th day. I'm actually born on 1/6, actually. My birth date is 1/6. So lots of stuff going on with that. And 2028 is huge. I would say it's pretty huge in that subject matter. So we'll keep going from there. But lots of big stuff's coming, you guys. So then we've got Saint Germain in the 1700s. A woman named, I believe this was a channeling with the woman named Alice Bailey, and she channeled from Saint Germain, also the year 2025, that great teachers would return to the earth, Jesus' second coming around the 2025 mark, and alien disclosures as well. Then we've got a 1200-year Hindu cycle, which marked a period of time which ended on February 26th of 2025. And that marked a great shift in humanity happening. And that little time window there was marked from 1200 years ago. It's a 1200-year cycle. So that's really cool. So another pinpointing of this timeline right now. And then we have EBA 1 from the Roswell crash. 3 EBAs were taken, which stands for, I think that stands for human life form or something, humanoid life form. I can't remember what it stands for, but EBA means something. I think it means consciousness unit or something like that. I forgot. I learned it on Cosmic Disclosure, but I got a review. So there was three of them in the crash. One died on site, two lived. One died shortly after. One lived for a long time, many years. His name is Eba 1. And he grew to be able to understand English. And he said that in the year 2025, his family would be returning in mass, that all his family members would be coming back in 2025. Then we've got David's, I just covered that, David's predictions from Archangel Michael in late 1990s. Then I've got my own vision. Then I've got Louis Elizondo, who's a former employee of the government. David Wilcock included him in his list, and he's predicting official mass ET return in 2025 as well. I don't know if it's return or disclosure, but I wrote down return, so that's what David said. And I haven't had a chance to really Google him yet, but he did list him on there as a source. Then I also have a friend who's an astrologer, and he does public astrology reports all the time on his Instagram channel. And he, like 2 or 3 years ago now, he was also marking 2025 as a very big year for the world. Then I have a friend that I've been friends with for about 2 years now. And so I haven't known her for a super long time, so she doesn't know about all my past stuff, my visions, whatever. We were just chatting on the phone, and I told her about my vision for the first time, and I said, and I think it was going to be the year 2025, and she goes, "Yeah, that's what I'm getting too." I'm like, "What?" So she's getting the same timeline as well. So, just kind of interesting. So keep your eyes and ears out, and we'll see what happens moving forward. That I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen this year, but I would rather see you guys be over prepared than under prepared for something like this. And all this information going around is going to do nothing but help people expand their consciousnesses and understand that we are not alone. So we'll keep going from here. Thought you guys would like the update.